What's up, everybody? Chad, Adler Farms. It's cold. It's real cold. There's no wind, but it's like 28 degrees. Brr. A little bit different vlog this morning. Wanted to show you. My dad messaged me and he said, hey, you got to move your camera and some traps over here because he's gone. I said, what do you mean he's gone? He said, he's gone. First, I got to show you guys. Is he still alive? So I can't show you too much, and all the animals have been fed, but they're going to pretend like they haven't been. That's just how it goes. I've got a Ricky here that I caught a couple days ago, and I use him to bait other things. That's what I've been doing. Not going to show you, but you can use your imagination. Take some meat, put the rest of the Ricky over in the Raccoon graveyard, which keeps the coyotes and the huge predators away. It's several hundred yards away from the farm. I've been trying to trap this huge possum that's been over here living in this den. And this is where I have the foxes and the owl on camera. And I've been trying to trap those foxes, but I've not been very successful because there's a possum that lives over here. And he's kind of a little scavenger, but he is ginormous. And this is also the first time I've caught a Duke number 3 trap. So I'm pretty proud of it. So let me show you real quick. Let me tell you something, what I'm doing here, okay? There's no blood, there's no guts, nothing like that. But I have my trapper's permit, I'm protecting my farm. And where I'm trapping, that's my farm. There's Smokey right there, okay? I should say my farm, the whole thing's my farm, but those are my chickens, my ducks, and my turkeys. And I'm trying to get these foxes. Foxes are not actually a huge issue in this area, coyotes are. But thankfully, as far as I know, we haven't seen any of those yet. But the reason I wanted this possum out of the way is because I was using some bait and lure to attract the foxes, and the silly possum kept getting to it, and he wasn't triggering my trap. So I knew there was no way I was going to get those foxes until the possum disappeared. And I just kept rebaiting it, and he's not what we're after, but he is huge. I mean, huge. Let's go up here and take care of him. Even in this trap, even though it looks a lot different, hang on a second. I'm talking to Smokey, even though it looks a lot different than so this is what I use on my raccoons, okay? It just handcuffs them. But you know, people think of those bear traps with teeth that you see in the old cartoons. That's not what these are. You can't use those anymore, okay? This is also the thing this possum is stuck in. It looks like that, but there's no teeth, there's no serrations. He's just handcuffed, okay? I could let him go, but I really need him to move on. There's only one way to get him to move on, because you can't relocate here in Missouri. All right, so we're gonna give him a chance to expire. And let me see if I can get this Ricky out of here with the one hand. Nope, I can't. Hang on a second. Let me just say, for the whole video, there's no blood, there's no guts. You're not gonna see anything like that, okay? If I do show you something and there's a little bit of blood in the background, I'll just make it go black and white. And because I want to show for education purposes, I think that's important. And yeah, so let me show you what I was using. All right, and see how, and this, yes, there's some hair in there, get over yourselves, but there's no teeth, it just handcuffs him, okay? Let me show you real quick. You push these things down, these open. I'm not gonna do that with one hand. I'm not gonna do that trying to hold the camera. Well, I can do it like this. Show you guys here. So, you do that. There's my paper. But you spread these open, push that pan down, and you move your trigger here. Now this is froze, it's too cold today. I swear he just moved. That freaked me out a minute. Whew. But I couldn't get him. Oh man. Stick went down my shirt. But I had to get him out of here. We've got deer that use this trail. It's too close to the chickens, too close to the turkeys, and I was worried that he might become a snack for a fox or a coyote, so I wanted to get rid of him, and we did. But I've never actually caught anything in those in that number 3, so that's pretty cool. Like, you have to, it's a full science when you set one of those number 3s. So pretty proud of myself. Now we got to move Ricky. I think it's a Ricky. Nope, it's a Rona. We got to move Rona. I don't know, we call possums grinners. We got to move Rona and the grinner to the graveyard. So let me do that, and then I'll check back with you. I gotta show you guys everybody's favorite animal. There she is. There she is. What you think? That smell good? That smell good? Somebody told me you might like some raw raccoon meat. Yep. Sure did. Probably won't show that, but there's a lot of people making dog food out of raw diet. So, might try that one of these days. Might try that. Yeah. So let me show you guys something. Turkeys and chickens are behind me. If you guys remember, we had a very beloved broad-breasted turkey named Beef. And sadly, Beef passed away from something, and we don't know what it was. He was broad-breasted, which means he's like a meat bird. So he technically can get so big that he could have a heart attack. Now the thing is that we don't think he had a heart attack because we were out here filming, and like a video back a month or two ago, we were out here filming and he was fine. And then a couple hours later, my dad came out and he was gone. He was dead. Like, just died, fell over. Has to be some kind of natural cause. But my dad actually gave him a proper burial and put him inside of a plastic bag. And this was, I'll have to look, but like a month and a half ago. It was right before Thanksgiving. So, and then buried him right here next to the farm, about 50 yards from his old pen. And then look at these rocks. He covered the grave, if you will, with rocks. And I'm talking huge rocks. Like, look at this. Look at that rock. I wear a 2X glove. Look at that rock. Look at that. Okay. But raccoons last night came in here and tore it up. Look, here's the, let me spin the camera. Look at that. That's the plastic bag he was in. A garbage sack. I just didn't want to say garbage sack, but you know what I'm talking about. But look, feather, 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 feather. I mean, look how deep that hole is. Look at that. These rocks, look at that rock that was on top of there. I can't pick that up. I can palm a basketball. I can't pick that rock up. That's huge. I mean, there's feathers everywhere. The raccoon's dog goes, well, look, you got feathers back here, back there. And then you can see where they drug something, because the forest floor is very gray unless you drag something across it. Like, watch. Okay, we do that, you tear it up. But look at this. They were all over right here. And this just goes to show too that they're aware that Smokey is in a pen, because they get that close to her knowing she can't get out. Man, these things are crazy. But what I'm gonna do, and some of y'all may not agree with this, because I probably should and would take these animals I'm getting ready to, you know, the possum and the raccoon, they need to go to the graveyard, which is a long ways away from the farm, or at least away from the birds. But I'm gonna put one of them in this hole and cover him up and set my trail cam, and yeah, see if we can get some cool stuff on a trail cam. It'll be black and white, won't be high def, won't be anything like that, but I just can't imagine. I mean, these raccoons, clearly, they smelled that out inside of a bag, covered up with dirt, and then they moved the rocks, dug him up. I mean, that's just incredible. They're incredible animals. What makes raccoons different than any other animal, and possums kind of have it, but they have thumbs. That's what makes a raccoon different than any other critter. Yeah, pretty crazy, but it was also more than one raccoon, no doubt. Probably watching me from somewhere. Let's go get Rona and Grinner and bring one of them over here. So probably Grinner, because he's more fresh. Rona has been out here. She was dispatched. She wasn't suffering. She wasn't nothing like that. But when I came out here to check on her one day, when I came out and checked my trap line, she was out here at like 7:15 in the morning, and I had to dispatch her and leave her, because you got to let them expire. Don't ever assume because you dispatch one that they're gone. Because I picked them up by the tail before, and then they realized they don't want to be picked up by the tail, and you realized, whoops. So you definitely want to make sure that they are dispatched. Let's get old. And you're not gonna see any blood or anything. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Man. Yep, that's a boy. He is huge. Huge. So let's go put him over here. All right. So I buried the Grinner. He's down there. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is set up our camera. And in case you guys didn't know, there's a trick. So these cameras, they kind of move around, and you can tighten them up with a strap back here. If you ever want to position them, I don't think I can do this with one hand. Hang on. Take you a stick. Oh, come on. There we go. Get all your stuff out of the way there. But now, the camera is aimed right at Mr. Grinner. And he was definitely a mister. Funny looking mister. I don't know how to describe what was going on down there, but he was a he. So let's turn our camera on here. Hopefully we'll get you guys some good stuff there. I've noticed too, now there's two types of marshmallows that are bigger. Like when I think of a marshmallow, I think of the little ones that you drop in your coffee. Okay. But then there's jumbo marshmallows, and then there's s'more marshmallows. Okay. Magneto, Mini, Sassy, and Summer making the rounds. But what I've noticed is the marshmallows that aren't jumbo, the campfire ones that I've used before, they don't work as well, because they just barely fit inside the little canister, okay, inside the dog-proof trap. And when they barely fit inside the trap, the raccoons can barely get them out with their thumb and index finger, calling it a hand. So what works better for us is the mini marshmallows, because they actually fall down in onto the trigger system, and the raccoons can't stand it. They have to have that marshmallow. What I'm gonna do, I don't have any mini marshmallows on me, but like I mentioned before, where's that? You know what every dad of a toddler has in his truck? Pop-Tart crumbs. So I just went back there and raised little buddy's car seat up and found a ton of Pop-Tart crumbs. Anyway, that's what we're gonna drop inside these traps. But let me do a little bit of work, because this Rona is actually, I should say the trap is actually frozen. So I can't get it open with one hand. So let me take care of that, and then I'll check back in with you guys. I switched things up on you. There's Mom and Dad's house. We were just way over there. But I've got another trap over here where my dad baits. I almost said my dad baits deer. He doesn't bait deer. He feeds the deer and never hunts them. But he throws corn on the ground, and the raccoons are eating his corn. So I figured, well, if I could stop a raccoon that much further from the house, I might as well. So that's what I'm doing. But let me show you what I mean by these traps and the marshmallows being a little bit too big. So I put a marshmallow in there yesterday, and this is a push trap. It's not a pull. See, you have to hit that trigger down there in order for it to go off. So when you drop a large marshmallow in there, it just falls in. And of course, raccoons have like nails, like claws, and they just reach in there and they pinch that marshmallow and they take it out. But when you use the mini marshmallows, they actually fall down in there behind that trigger system. And yeah, then they can't get it out. So, or I should say, then they get stuck and we get a Ricky or Rona. So that's why we're going to use some Pop-Tarts, because Ricky and Rona, I mean, who don't love Pop-Tarts? Jeez, I love Pop-Tarts. So yeah, this will have I'll be shocked if this doesn't have a raccoon in it tomorrow morning. Shocked. But raccoon graveyard, ish. I'm not looking at the camera, I know. Raccoon graveyard's right through there. Right through there. That's why we have so many hawks and falcons too. Or hawks and buzzards. I don't know why I said falcon. That's why we have so many hawks over there. Let me take this long road back up to the truck, because we can't cut across Dad's yard. That's all right. It's all right. Once a Ricky or Rona has seen a live trap, they're worthless. They go in there, and now I say that, they make different sizes, and I've got like a medium to large. Well, I've got extra large raccoons. So the raccoons were going in there, and they were so big that even though the door got triggered, it couldn't shut behind them. So they just ate the candy or the bait or the Pop-Tart or the marshmallow and then backed out. So back over here at the turkey buffet, we're gonna set some traps. These are dog-proof traps from Duke. I like them better than anything. Not affiliated, not sponsored. There's a different type of trap called a Z trap. But the Z trap, I don't like the trigger mechanism on it near as well. So I use Duke. And then these are, oh goodness, I'm gonna put the name down below because I forgot. Something with an A. But this is an earth anchor, basically, okay? It's a 1/2-inch rebar, maybe 3/8, but it's 1/2-inch rebar. You drive it in the ground 24 inches. You tether, come on. You tether your traps to it, and then you pound it into the ground, because if a raccoon can move those rocks, he'll pull your trap right out of the ground if you don't really secure it. So let's do that real quick. And the more you trap with these things, the more of a hair trigger they have. See what I mean? Now that can't cut me. It would have just handcuffed me, and my hand wasn't even inside it, but it still snaps you. It'll get you. So There you go. Woo! That's a live one. Oh yeah, they won't be able to stand this. Come on. Just trying to do it with gloves on. Keep my hands cold. Or keep my hands warm. There you go. And sometimes when you put bait in there, you can't get it to stick. So let's do this actually. That'll do it. Woo! Oh boy, stinks. Alrighty, here you go. Yep, and I'm gonna go check and see what was on that card, and then I'll bring that card back. Some of y'all may be thinking, well man, that's an awfully disturbed area. Will they come back to that? Yes. Some people call that a trap circle. Like when they get stuck, they just go in a circle around that tether. And I've heard it called a death circle because that's what happens after they get trapped. And as far as putting two traps right beside each other, does that work? Absolutely. I've caught a Ricky that stuck his hand in one trap, and he was probably there for about 2 hours. I have it on camera. He was there for about 2 hours before I got to my trap line. And then he got so bored and hungry that he stuck his hand in the other trap, and I basically doubled him up. It's ridiculous. I've also gotten one stuck with both hands in one trap, because they're not even a foot apart. But I've shown up before and had a skunk in one of them. Yes, a skunk in a dog-proof trap. A skunk in one and a possum in the other, a foot apart. Animals do not care. They don't care. They just want food. That's it. That's what they want. So yes, that will absolutely work, putting them that close together. And then you only have to use one of your earth anchors. Let's go pet somebody. Hi. Hi. What you doing? What you doing, Smokey? What's you doing? Huh? What's you doing? Don't chew on the watch. Don't chew on the watch. Nope. 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 Now all the animals have already been fed. So, and Grandpa's already been out here, which is why you're all fired up. Man, you're getting big. You're getting big. Look at this. Come here. Good girl. Just wants to eat me. Just wants to eat. You're too rough. You're too rough. Yeah, you are. Here, sit. Sit. Nope. Take a picture for the people. Act like a lady. Act like a lady. Nope, nope, nope. Act like a lady. You smell coffee? You smell coffee? You want some coffee? You don't need coffee. You get the zoomies just because you're breathing. All right. Good dog. The Grandpa's already been down here because I got a picture. So I know you got tons of loving today. And I got to come back. I got to come back and put a card in that camera. Okay. You know what? Those raccoons are getting close because they know you can't get out. But you know what? They're not getting into pen because we're not losing chickens. Yeah. Act like a lady. Act like a lady. Huh? You're huge. You're so big. All right, hang on. There we go. Hey, you gotta let me go. Let me go. Here's what we'll do though. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi. Here's what we'll do. Let me go check this trail card. Then I'll come back and I'll bring you an egg. Okay? Just in case nobody's laid one, I'll bring you one. How's that sound? All right, I'll be right back. Let's go check this trail cam. Grandma and Grandpa's. All right. So it's been about an hour. Went into mom and dad's and hung out and talked about the garden and looked at the trail cam footage, which I hope you guys enjoyed. So I asked you guys a while back if you wanted to see some of that, and everybody concurred, so that's why I show it. So it's never to be mean or rude or crude or anything like that. It's strictly for educational purposes. Magneto, these ladies. Smokey snoozing. I brought her egg. Let's see if we can sneak up on her. There she is. What's up, dog? What's up? What's up? Guess what? Guess what? Let's go. Let's go get it. Ready? Oh man. Hey dude. Nobody can lay if you're standing in front of the door.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. See you later. She's good. So now we're gonna go home, and I got a new part for the truck. Just taking you guys around on my day. Got a new part for the truck. Or I shouldn't say new. Well, it is new. In case you guys didn't know, I'll link this video of her. But I put a new bumper on my truck, and it's pretty funny video. It's a good video. It was right before Christmas. And yeah. So go watch that. But I have a skid plate, and a skid plate is what goes underneath your truck. It's not even a truck thing. Every car has one. Some are made of metal, some are made of plastic, thermoresin, things like that. So anyway, I need to add one because putting this new bumper on my truck kind of raised the front of the bumper up. So I need to put this skid plate on there so that things are protected, because like my oil pan and everything's like right behind the bumper. So this plate will help protect that. So see y'all in a minute. I'm back home and it's still stinking cold. I waited as long as I possibly could before I would do this to wait and see if it would warm up, but it's not. It's 1:30 in the afternoon and it's 30 degrees. So I'm getting ready to lay on a cold concrete driveway and install this skid plate, but I want it installed. I really want to protect the undercarriage, and There's a lot of stuff way up front in this thing that you don't want getting rocks and debris and things like that on. The old bumper had a lot more material and just things that would protect gravel and rocks from bouncing up. And now that the old bumper's gone, I don't have that. So, you know, it's not like I take this thing off-roading, but even driving down a gravel road can really, really cause a lot of issues if you don't have, you know, underneath side of your truck covered up. That's why that stuff's there. So anyway, I'll show you what I'm doing. There's a little bit of fabrication involved in this. Like you got to take the plastic splash guard off, cut a hole in it, mount a bracket, and then you screw on your skid plate. So not going to be a whole lot of talking. This isn't really a how-to. This is just what I'm doing today, so I want to put it on there. All right, let's party. I'm cheating a little bit. I put down some cardboard so it's not so cold. And I've been home, by the way, for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So nothing under here is hot to the touch. So anyway, I think it's this that has to come off. It does. So, yeah. Okay, I'm kind of a risk taker, so let's see if, and this is that splash guard I was talking about, obviously. It's got to stay in place. So I'll try to set you guys up here somewhere. The reason I use a wrench, or I should say the reason I use a ratchet first, is you never know underneath a car, at least I don't. I can tell you underneath a Chevy what's what. But you never know when you start wrenching on stuff what things are attached to. And the last thing you want to do when you're doing something like this is strip a nut, strip a bolt, strip a screw, whatever. So I always start off with a ratchet and go from there. And then once I figure out what things are, you switch to a drill or a screw gun, whatever you want to call it. But no, these aren't impact rated. You guys know I have impact rated. We're not like worried about torquing these things to spec, okay? I'm just buttoning them up. This is literally a plastic, it's a mud flap, okay? So, and besides that, it's a Chevy, not a Volkswagen or a Mercedes. You don't need to make sure that's spec. Whatever. So we're gonna close this out with the dogs in the background. What does a skid plate look like and what does it do? Well, it's a big piece of metal and it's for skidding. Not on the ice like my mom thought, but here's where it is. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know you can't see me. Y'all be good. Don't work too hard. Wash your hands. Stay safe.
God bless.
God bless.
Deuces.
Deuces.
I'm just done.